She was once known as the woman standing beside golf's golden star, Tiger Woods. Elin Nordegren seemed quiet, elegant, and distant from the spotlight, but after one of the most public scandals in sports history, she vanished from public view. So what really happened to Elin, and did that betrayal break her? The headlines told one story. The full truth behind her divorce never fully made it to the front page. And the life she's living today might genuinely surprise you. Before fame found her, Elin lived a calm and disciplined life in Stockholm, Sweden, far from flashing cameras and constant media attention. Born on January 1, 1980, she grew up in a well-educated, politically active family. Her mother, Barbara Holmberg, was a respected politician who later served as Sweden's Minister for Migration and Asylum Policy. Her father, Thomas Nordegren, was a recognized radio journalist and foreign correspondent. Elin was raised in an environment that valued privacy, education, and hard work. Fame was never the goal. She focused on her studies, worked part-time jobs, and occasionally modeled to support herself. Although she appeared in a few Swedish magazine photo shoots, modeling was never her long-term plan. Her move to the United States wasn't driven by dreams of celebrity. It happened through circumstance and opportunity, setting the stage for a life she never expected. After finishing high school, Elin worked at a clothing store. That's where she met Mia Parnevik, the wife of Swedish pro golfer Jesper Parnevik. Mia noticed Elin's calm personality and strong work ethic and offered her a job as a nanny for their children. Elin accepted and moved to Florida, stepping into a completely new world. Through Jesper's career in professional golf, Elin began attending events and meeting well-known athletes. That's how she was introduced to Tiger Woods, who at the time was at the very top of his game. He had major titles, global fame, and a powerful brand built around his name. He wasn't just successful, he was everywhere. Reports from that time say several golfers were interested in meeting Elin, but Tiger was the one who kept trying to get her attention. At first, she wasn't interested. Jesper later shared in interviews that she wanted to stay away from the chaos that surrounded major celebrities. She wasn't used to cameras, gossip, or constant attention. It reportedly took months and more than a few attempts before she agreed to go on a date. What started as quiet dinners and private trips quickly turned into one of the most talked about relationships in sports. By 2003, during a tournament trip to South Africa, Tiger proposed, and their story officially changed forever. The proposal happened at the ultra-luxurious Shamwari Game Reserve in South Africa, a place known for its wild safaris in total privacy. It was romantic, exclusive, and straight out of a dream. Less than a year later, in October 2004, they married in Barbados at the famous Sandy Lane Resort, one of the most expensive and private venues in the world. The wedding was grand but tightly controlled. Celebrity guests,
she was
sports
once
elites,
the woman
and
behind
serious
golf's
security
golden
everywhere.
boy. The Woods
Reports
family
said
was at their
dozens of guards
Windermere
were placed
home
around
in
the property
Florida.
to keep the
The
media
fairy
far
tale
away.
beginning.
It was a powerful display of wealth and status, and proof that Elin's quiet Swedish life was now far behind her.
After the wedding, they settled into a massive mansion in Windermere, Florida. The estate had private docks, heavy security, and every luxury you can imagine. Elin stayed low-key, rarely giving interviews or stepping into the spotlight. Meanwhile, Tiger remained highly visible, winning tournaments, starring in commercials, and building a global empire. In 2007, they welcomed their daughter, Sam Alexis Woods. She was born just one day after Tiger finished second at the US Open, and he rushed back home to be there. In 2009, their son, Charlie Axel Woods, was born. On the outside, they looked like the perfect modern family. 2 children, a superstar father, and a devoted mother focused on home life. For years, there were no clear signs of problems. They vacationed in the Bahamas, appeared at select events, and carefully protected
Elin
their
never
image.
tried to become a
Elin
lifestyle
avoided media
brand.
attention
She
completely,
didn't sell workout
even turning
plans,
down paid
launch a
interviews.
podcast.
She never
There are
tried
no
to
red
profit from
carpet
her position,
appearances
but
or
behind
public
closed doors,
declarations,
the pressure
just
was
a shared
real.
commitment to
Living beside
parenting
one of the most
that Elin
famous
had been a
athletes in the world
tremendous
meant
mother
constant
and that they
scrutiny.
worked hard to
Simple
put their
things,
children
shopping,
first.
walking outside, casual conversations could turn into headlines. Their home life was intentionally guarded, built to keep the outside world away. Even their wedding photos were kept private. No reality shows, no tell-all interviews, no social media updates. Elin's silence became part of her image, and it only made people more curious. She was always there beside a global icon, yet somehow still a mystery no one truly knew. But that intense lifestyle slowly started to weigh on her. As Tiger's fame exploded, the media became more aggressive. Protecting their privacy turned into a constant battle. For someone who never chased fame in the first place, being pushed into one of the most watched marriages on the planet was overwhelming. Still, from the outside, everything looked perfect. A loving father, a devoted mother, a life that seemed almost too polished to be real. So when things finally unraveled, it didn't just make headlines, it stunned the world. By the late 2000s, Tiger Woods wasn't just winning, he was dominating history. He had transformed professional golf and built a global empire around his name. Major endorsements, luxury partnerships, billion-dollar branding. His image stood for focus, control, and excellence. He looked unstoppable. But behind that flawless image, pressure was building. By 2008, Tiger wasn't just an athlete, he was a carefully managed brand. The face of Nike, a constant presence in major ad campaigns, every move calculated. And that level of perfection came with strain. People close to the golf world began noticing subtle changes. Unusual travel schedules, solo trips that raised questions, reports of emotional distance at home. The untouchable aura around him didn't feel as solid anymore. On top of that, his body was taking serious hits. He went through multiple knee surgeries, including a major procedure in 2008 after winning the US Open, later revealing he had played through a broken leg. The pressure wasn't just public, it was physical, emotional, and relentless. The pain was intense, and staying at the top of his game required strong medication. Later reports suggested Tiger became heavily dependent on painkillers, which added even more pressure to his life. There were also claims that he struggled with chronic insomnia, long, restless nights with little sleep and no peace. The balance between his health and his public image was slowly falling apart.
Looking back, many believe his private battles, physical pain, emotional exhaustion, and the constant demand to appear perfect created a dangerous mix. Living under that kind of pressure can cloud judgment. It can push even the most disciplined person into secrecy and risky decisions. And by late 2009, that pressure was reaching a breaking point. Everything exploded in the early hours of November 27, 2009, during Thanksgiving weekend, at the family's home in Windermere, Florida. What exactly happened that night is still debated, with conflicting accounts and speculation. But one fact couldn't be ignored. Around 2:30 a.m., Tiger crashed his Cadillac Escalade into a fire hydrant and then a tree just outside his driveway. At first, it seemed like a minor accident, but almost immediately, the story became far more complicated. Reports at the time claimed that earlier that evening, Elin had confronted him over suspicious text messages she found on his phone, messages allegedly exchanged with another woman. What followed, according to law enforcement reports and media coverage, was a heated argument that would soon spark one of the biggest scandals in sports history. Reports from that night claimed Elin demanded answers, while Tiger tried to downplay the situation. In the middle of the chaos, it was rumored that she grabbed a golf club, not to harm him, but to break the back window of the SUV as he attempted to leave. When neighbors heard the crash and rushed outside, they saw Tiger on the ground and Elin nearby. Emergency crews arrived quickly and took him to the hospital. The first police statement was brief and avoided any mention of conflict at home, but the media was already circling. As reporters dug deeper, the story exploded. In the days that followed, multiple women came forward, claiming they had relationships with Tiger during his marriage. The number of names kept growing. Some shared voicemails and text messages, others gave interviews to tabloids. What started as a late-night accident turned into a full-blown media storm. Sponsors reacted fast. Accenture ended its 6-year partnership. Gillette reduced his presence in campaigns. Gatorade quietly pulled a branded product linked to him. The athlete once seen as disciplined and reliable was now facing a major public image crisis. This wasn't just about personal mistakes, it was about reputation, trust, and a carefully built brand falling apart in real time. In February 2010, Tiger delivered a public apology. He admitted he had let his family down, expressed regret, and announced he would step away from professional golf indefinitely. For someone known for strict focus and routine, that decision shocked fans. The sport continued without him. By the end of 2010, he had not won a single tournament, the first time since turning pro. His world ranking dropped from number 1 to 58 in just 1 year. Through all of it, Elin said nothing publicly. No interviews, no press statements, no visible reaction. She remained completely silent while the world watched.
The same woman who avoided fame from day one now refused to use it, even when the world was begging her to speak. News outlets kept guessing. Was she leaving him? Was she being paid to stay silent? Was there more to the story? Cameras followed her everywhere. She was seen at her children's school events and visiting family in Sweden, often without Tiger by her side. Still, her posture stayed calm. Her silence said more than any interview ever could. In a culture that thrives on public drama, she refused to perform. That choice earned her quiet respect. But behind closed doors, the marriage was falling apart. Trust had been broken in a very public way. Reports claimed Elin temporarily moved into a separate home, creating space to think and to shield her children from the chaos. Media crews camped outside. Photographers waited for a reaction. She gave them nothing. Once the scandal broke, every move she made was watched. She was placed at the center of a global media storm, forced to handle personal heartbreak under intense scrutiny. And then came the decision that changed everything. In August 2010, less than a year after the scandal erupted, Elin Nordegren filed for divorce. There was no dramatic courtroom moment, no emotional press conference, just a short joint statement from their attorneys confirming the marriage was over. Calm, direct, final. The divorce was finalized in a Florida court, and both signed a custody agreement focused on their 2 children, Sam and Charlie. On paper, everything looked calm and professional, but for fans who had followed their story for years, it felt like the final chapter of a very public collapse. For months, reporters had camped outside Elin's home, followed her to the gym, and analyzed every small move. Still, she never lashed out. She didn't sit down for a dramatic interview. She didn't trade stories for headlines. Instead of feeding the tabloids, she focused on her children and protecting what little privacy she had left. At the time, reports claimed the settlement was massive, estimated around $100 million, making it one of the most talked about celebrity divorces ever. The exact number was never officially confirmed, but the media ran with it. Some painted her as a quiet victim, others called her strategic and calculating. The speculation never stopped. The custody arrangement also drew attention. Elin and Tiger agreed to shared parenting, with the children dividing their time between both homes. Sources described it as respectful and centered on the kids. From the start, it seemed clear her priority wasn't money, it was stability. She wanted her children shielded from the storm that had surrounded their family name. But even after the divorce, the cameras didn't disappear. Paparazzi followed her to the beach, to grocery stores, to playgrounds. Magazines studied every photo, searching for signs of how she felt. Was she smiling? Did she look exhausted? The world kept watching, even when she gave them nothing to hold on to. Magazines even questioned small details. Had she lost weight? Was she struggling? In many ways, she was reduced to a headline: the betrayed wife, the dignified ex, the symbol of heartbreak. But behind those labels was a real woman dealing with real pain, not just from the end of her marriage, but from having her private life exposed to the world.
Eventually, Elin broke her silence in an interview with People magazine. It was her first and only detailed public statement about the scandal. Calm and direct, she said she had been completely blindsided and never suspected anything was happening in her marriage. She admitted, "I'm so embarrassed that I never suspected. For the past 3.5 years when all this was going on, I was home a lot more with pregnancies and the children and my school." That quote cut through months of rumors. She made it clear she had no knowledge of the affairs. She hadn't ignored warning signs. She hadn't accepted anything for money or image. She had trusted her husband and believed in the life they built. She also spoke openly about the heartbreak. "How could I not have known anything? The word betrayal isn't strong enough. I felt like my whole world had fallen apart. It seemed that my world, as I thought it was, had." None of the rumors truly stuck. Not because the media stopped trying, but because Elin refused to play along. She didn't leak stories. She didn't stage dramatic appearances. She didn't turn heartbreak into a public performance. Instead, she chose silence again, and that silence became her power. But the emotional weight was real. For someone who never chased fame, being followed, photographed, and analyzed on a global scale was deeply overwhelming. She later admitted there were days she didn't even want to get out of bed, moments when she questioned everything: love, trust, partnership. The life she thought she had built suddenly felt uncertain. As time passed and headlines slowly shifted elsewhere, Elin turned her focus inward. She began making quiet, deliberate decisions that would reshape her future. The media may have moved on, but the experience left a permanent mark. And what she chose to do next surprised almost everyone. After going through one of the most public celebrity scandals of that era, she could have disappeared completely. No one would have blamed her. Instead of stepping into reality TV or launching a flashy brand, she did something far less expected. She went back to school. Elin enrolled at Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida.
While other high-profile public figures were building media personas, she committed to a full academic path. This wasn't a short course or a publicity move. She chose to study psychology seriously, attending classes like any other student. Many classmates barely knew her past, and that was exactly how she preferred it. And she didn't just attend, she excelled. In 2014, Elin graduated with an impressive 3.96 GPA, earning her bachelor's degree in psychology and finishing at the top of her class, quietly, without spectacle, without headlines, just discipline and determination paying off. She received the prestigious Outstanding Senior Award, not just for high grades, but for her character and positive impact on campus. At graduation, she gave a short speech about resilience and gratitude, thanking the college for giving her space to grow in a place that valued learning over celebrity. It was a powerful full-circle moment. She was no longer known only as a former model or the ex-wife of a sports icon. She had built her own identity, her own voice, her own direction.
Psychology wasn't just a diploma on the wall. It reflected her personal journey. After everything she had experienced, understanding emotional strength and mental health became deeply meaningful to her. It was growth in real time. At the same time, she was quietly stepping into another arena, real estate. With a natural eye for design, she began investing seriously. In 2011, she bought a $12 million oceanfront property in North Palm Beach, Florida. Instead of simply renovating it, she demolished the original structure and rebuilt it completely from the ground up. Over several years, she oversaw the creation of a sleek, elegant mansion, blending Scandinavian minimalism with coastal luxury. Then, in 2020, she sold the property for $28.6 million, more than double the purchase price. It became one of the biggest residential sales in the area that year, and she did it without media tours, flashy promotion, or public bragging, just smart moves and patience. While many public figures turned to social media partnerships and personal branding, Elin stayed offline. No lifestyle empire, no sponsored content, no public reinvention campaign. She chose financial independence over fame, a rare decision in a world driven by attention. And somewhere along the way, she quietly opened her heart again. In 2017, Elin began dating Jordan Cameron, a former NFL tight end who played for the Cleveland Browns and Miami Dolphins. Like her, he had stepped away from professional sports earlier than expected, retiring after multiple concussions. He was described as calm, thoughtful, and grounded, a personality that seemed to match her steady energy. In 2019, they welcomed a son together. The news only became public after Elin was seen with a visible baby bump at her older son's soccer game. Even then, there was no formal announcement. Later, Cameron confirmed they were simply enjoying raising their child in a peaceful and private environment. No big reveal, no magazine covers, just family life. Since then, their relationship has stayed low profile. No red carpets, no dramatic headlines, just a shared focus on parenting and stability. Sources close to them have suggested that Elin is happiest now, centered on family, personal growth, and a calm routine she didn't have in her 20s. Her co-parenting relationship with Tiger Woods has also matured over time. After an understandably difficult period, both reportedly committed to raising their children with respect and cooperation. Over the years, they've been seen at school and sporting events together, keeping interactions polite and focused on their kids. Tiger later acknowledged in interviews that Elin is a devoted mother and they've worked hard to put their children first. Their two children, Sam and Charlie, are now teenagers and active in sports. Charlie especially has drawn attention for playing competitive golf. Elin is often spotted quietly supporting him at tournaments, present but never seeking attention. Today, her life looks completely different from a decade ago, and that's intentional. She owns property in Florida and focuses on creating a stable home environment. She rarely appears publicly and avoids social media. Those who know her describe her as private, emotionally grounded, and committed to growth. There's a sense of calm around her now, like the storm has finally passed. The woman who once dominated global headlines now lives almost entirely outside of them. And maybe that's the real transformation, moving from being defined by a public scandal to building a life on her own terms. Do you think Elin Nordegren has truly found peace away from the spotlight? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more real-life stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.